Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Marie here. I get to share with you some of these fun glimmer plates from Spellbinders today. This is their Glimmering Layering Flowers set. And you can see you get 2 flowers with the leaves here and as well as the coordinating dies. So you can go ahead and glimmer these images and then die cut them out and you can layer them up on your card. I'm going to get those heating up on my Glimmer machine as I get a piece of Bristol smooth cardstock. I'm using Bristol today because I'm also going to be using my zigs, and this cardstock works fantastic with your zig watercolor brushes. So I'm just grabbing some copper foil here and I'm going to go ahead and layer over my plates. They are getting warmed up here, so I'm going to put my foil down. You always want to put it pretty side down because the back side is where it sticks. So if you don't want to foil your plates, don't put that back side on top of them. Put the pretty side down. I've done that before. Doesn't hurt your plates at all. It just makes them shiny and glimmery. Anyway, so they are completely heated up. I pulled them out of my platform there, went ahead, ran it through my Platinum 6, and I've glimmered them. So here are those flowers and leaves glimmered. I hope you can see them. It's a little hard to capture that shine on camera, but it is really shiny. I went ahead with the copper foil today because I'm going to be making a card that has more of an autumn feel to it, and I really love that copper with an autumn palette. So now I'm just lining up my coordinating dies. I have a little bit of washi tape on there so I can tape it down and just make sure they stay where I want them to go. I'm going to go ahead and run it through my die cutting machine, and then I've got them cut out. I can just pop them out of the dies there and I'm ready to go. So I went ahead and I glimmered good bunch of these flowers. I wanted lots of them that I could layer onto my card. I'm going to give you a closer look here of the flowers all glimmered. I'm trying to capture some of that light on there. Again, it's hard to show on photos or video, but it does shine. So now I'm going ahead with my zigs. Like I mentioned before, I'm using it on this Bristol smooth cardstock because this is the best cardstock for the job. It really can help you to get your color from your zigs moving. So I'm just going to go ahead and start coloring my images. What I like to do is put a little bit of color down where it would be darkest and then take my water brush and just spread that color out. Now I'm not even pushing on my water brush. I'm not squeezing any water out. The moisture from the bristles is enough to get this water moving. You don't need a lot of water at all. So that's why I have my towel handy so I can kind of wipe off my bristles, make sure I don't have any pooling water there. Now, it's really fun that you can go ahead and color over this foil. You want to use a gentle medium like a watercolor or maybe ink or something. You don't want to scratch the foil or, have it flake off or anything, but you can color over them using some watercolors or gentle mediums. It does not it does resist. It doesn't hold the water in like it would embossing, so you do have to try to stay in the lines still, but it's really fun to go ahead and color over this foil. Now that I've got my leaves all painted in green, I'm going to add a little bit of brown, give it a little bit more of a rich fall and autumn kind of feel. Like I said before, you don't need a whole lot of color. This color spreads really nicely, especially on this Bristol smooth paper. So really you just have to put a little bit of pigment down where you think it would be darkest on your image and then spread it out with your water. If you let your colors dry before adding another layer, it's really easy to get them mixing. If you try to go ahead and add some color over an area where it's still wet, it's not going to work quite as well. It's going to be harder to get some of that color on there. So I actually like to work in pairs when I'm coloring or in multiples. I'll put a little bit of color down like this, and then I'll spread it out and I'll set it aside as I work on another image so that that water can dry before I come in with another layer. So I'm going ahead and going to color my flowers now. I'm taking a little bit of purple and I'm going to spread that out with my water brush. Now, I don't know about you, but I just love fall and autumn palettes of color, and one of my favorite colors is that really rich, deep purple. Now I know that this purple is a little bit brighter, but if you go ahead and spread this color out and then you let it dry and put another color on top, you can layer your colors, you can blend them together. So that's what I'm going to do with this purple here. I'm going to put a layer of purple down, spread it out, and then I'm going to come back with another color on top and just blend them together to kind of tone this purple down, get it looking a little bit more fall. So I really enjoy working with these zigs. I have to say I didn't have much luck until I tried them on the Bristol smooth paper, and then it totally changed. I was able to get this color to move and to blend, and they're really fun to play with. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to mix this purple with another color. I came in with a reddish brown so that I could apply it on the center of my flower and then just blend it out with my water brush. I picked a reddish brown because I like adding red to purple. When you add those two colors, you get more of a maroonish kind of color, which is a fall color in my book. And I wanted it to be a little bit brown to add to that rich autumn palette as well. So I thought a reddish brown would go really well on top of this purple, and I'm just kind of blending it together. Again, putting it on the center and then blending it out, really just kind of swirling that color around, getting it to move. So here are my two purple flowers. I'm trying to kind of tip them in the light so you can see that gorgeous copper foil on the inside. I just love that you can watercolor over this foil. It doesn't hurt it at all, and it still shines through all of your colors. So I've got my purple flowers done. I'm going to go ahead and make another fall/autumn kind of flower here with some yellows and browns and reds. I'm putting a yellow on first. This is my lightest color. I'm going to go ahead and just blend it out with my water brush. And then after I've got my yellow down, I'm going to put some red on here. Now I didn't pick the brightest yellow of the bunch. I picked one that's a little more mustardy, got a little bit brown in it already. I wanted it to be a little bit toned down, not quite as bright, but it is a nice contrast to that purple flower that I've already done. So I've got my yellow on there, I've got it blended out. I'm taking just a little bit of red, not very much. You don't need a whole lot of pigment when you're doing this technique with these zigs. Adding it to the middle, and then I'm going to blend it out again. So it's going to give me an orangey kind of color on my flower, but I really do love that for the fall season. So I'm blending that out onto my flower petals, and I'm actually going to come in with yet another color. I know my other images I did just two colors, but you can keep blending. So I'm coming back in with that reddish brown, adding it to the center, and I'm going to blend that out as well. I really love adding some brown to my images to kind of tone it down, give it a little bit more dimension, give it some shading. You can do shading with different colors, but adding some brown just gives it a little something different than just adding a few different shades of the same color. It adds in some contrast, I think, and a little bit of interest. And it's just fun to go ahead and play with your colors and see what combinations you can come up with. So I'm going ahead, I'm spreading out this reddish brown, and that's going to finish my flowers and my leaves. I went ahead and I colored all the rest of them just the same way. I'm going to go ahead and arrange them on my card base. So I'm getting a little visual here of what I want to do with my flowers. I don't have these glued down yet because I want to foil my sentiment. And I'm using the thank you sentiment plate from Spellbinders. This one is new as well. I love this one. It says thank you here on the big plate, but you have two supporting sentiments that come with this set, and you can use both of them interchangeably. So I'm using the thank you so much. There is another sentiment in this set that you can also use, and I want you guys to notice here that there is some notches that you can line up these sentiments, and I love this so much. So you can change out those supporting sentiments, but it can still be lined up with that thank you if you just line up those notches. I think that's so clever, and I love it for foiling. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my copper foil once again. You can see there that I did tape my glimmer plates down to my cardstock with a little bit of low tack washi tape, and then I flipped it up like a hinge. And this is a great way to get your plates where you want them to go, get them to stay right exactly where you want them to be, and so that you can place them, foil them, no problem. So I did say in the beginning, make sure that your foiled side is up that's when you put your plates down first. Now, if you're putting your plates down like I'm doing here, you want your shiny side up, you want the pretty side up. Just always remember that the back side of your foil is what I think of as the sticky side. That's the side that's going to stick to whatever it's getting foiled. So don't put your plates on the back side ever, or you're going to foil your plates. So here's my thank you so very much. I've got that all foiled out. You can see I have a few areas where I've overfoiled. I've got some foil where I don't want it to be. Really simple to fix this problem. Just grab your Tombow Mono sand eraser or whatever sand eraser you have and just rub that foil away. You don't have to do it very hard. Just a light little erasing gets rid of any of those foiled areas that you don't want. So very easy to clean up your image if you overfoil just using a little sand eraser, and I love that. You don't have to scrap your whole project if you do a little overfoiling, just erase it away. So there's that sentiment. It's all cleaned up with my eraser. It looks so much better and you can see the shine. I just love it. Love this copper color. I'm going to go ahead and arrange my flowers onto my card base. Before I want to adhere my flowers down, I'm adding some splatters, and it's kind of hard to see on camera, but in person I think it gives the background a little bit more interest and texture. So I'm just taking some of my zigs, running it on my glass mat and picking it up with my water brush and just splattering it on. So I used a little bit of green, I used some browns, and I have some gold that I splattered on there as well. It's not overwhelming, but it is in the background, and I think it just adds a little something extra. I love the clean and simple look of cards, but I do think it's nice to add a little something to your backgrounds. So I'm going ahead with my Nuvo Liquid Deluxe Glue. I'm going to go ahead and adhere all of these pieces down. I love using this glue for die cuts and arrangements like this because you can kind of slide it around a little bit, get it in place where you want it to go before this glue completely dries. It is a good strong adhesive, but I love that you have some wiggle room to kind of move things around and get them where you want them to go before it dries. You can also see I have my Spellbinders tool and one off to the side there. I did use that a few times when my fingers were a little bit too big, just to kind of use that pokey tool and slide some of these flowers around to get them where I want them to be. Give your flowers a good press down so that they are adhered onto your cardstock. I popped that yellow flower up in the middle with some foam adhesive, and I'm just sticking one of the leaves behind it, and that's going to finish the arrangement on my card. I think this is so clean and simple and so gorgeous. I hope you can see that copper foil in the background. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this on my white card base using some large foam squares from Craft Perfect. I did trim down this card front to a little bit narrower of a two-size card, so I've got a little bit of an edge on each side, but I love the clean and simpleness of this card, that fall palette, and I love being able to glimmer all of those flower images. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gives you some inspiration. If you liked it, don't forget to give a thumbs up or subscribe, comment, share, like, and just do all the things. I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.